Today's class is all about helping those who are trying to get into exercise but need to take their time with it, either because it's been a long time since they did it, they've had a chronic illness, they're feeling quite weak, or a serious injury came along, or for older people who are realising that they're losing a little bit of independence with their movement, they can feel the strength disappearing a little bit, but they don't know where to start with trying to get it back or maintain what they have and improve it ideally. So this is quite a nice, easy start into exercises that are still really beneficial, and I will do future classes that progress them as well. To start with, we're going to improve our circulation and get our state of mind and our body, the nervous system basically warmed up and ready to go. So we're going to start with breathing in a nice pattern that'll keep everything moving smoothly. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds, out for 6 seconds, and we're going to repeat it several times, so 5 or 6 times at least. And we're going to then make sure we're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, ideally. If you're really struggling, you can part the lips a bit, but no matter what, try to have your tongue pressed up against the roof of your mouth the whole time. So breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. If you struggled with that at all, it is a super starting place for helping your body to get more oxygen into its muscles, which is going to help them to feel better and for you to have fewer aches and pains, for example. So in and out through the nose, 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. If 6 seconds was too long for you, bring it down to 4 seconds and then try to work up from there. If you found that you simply were, or you had more air in and you were still breathing out before the 6 seconds was up, then feel free to increase that to 7, 8, 9, even 10 seconds, whatever feels good for you. The main thing is after you exhale, you don't want to feel like you have to gasp the air back in. You want it to feel smooth. So the next thing we're going to do is stimulate lymph flow. So we're going to do that with a little bit of brief self-massage work. We're going to start up at the neck. So you're going to put one hand on either side of your neck, just under the jaw, just at the ear, under the ear as well. And we're going to brush up and down swiftly for about 10 seconds. Even if you're going slowly, or you do one side at a time, that's fine. There's no strict way to do this, so just do what you can. It is good to be as fast as you can be, but everyone's going to be different in that regard, so feel free to just work with what you can. After that then, we're going to just tap about 10 times or more, and that's that space done. The next space is going to be our tummies, so you can stand up to make it a little easier. You put one hand just under the rib area or just above your belly button, one hand just under the belly button, and we're going to do circles. So it doesn't really matter which way you go, but you can then reverse it after about 10 circles. And then we're going to tap. Then we're going to go to the third and final place. We're going to go behind the knees. So when you're doing this, you can sit back down if you like, or you can do it standing. But you're essentially going to be rubbing fast with the hands behind the knees, really warm them up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then tap. Lastly, to really help with lymph flow, it needs movement. So obviously we'll be doing more movement in a second, but I really like the bouncing. So it's very good for getting everything from the ground up, especially because the calves are going to really help to push up from lower down. So just bouncing up and down. You don't have to even leave the ground with your feet. You can just be bouncing up and down a little of it through the knees, nice and loose through the body. And then if you get more comfortable, you can start lifting the heels. Okay, so what we're going to get into now is a series of 6 exercises. We're going to go through them twice, and we're going to do about 10 reps of each. You're going to need a chair, some wall space, and that's basically it. So after that, what we're going to do is start with just body weight exercises. The first one is going to be sit to stand, but let's make sure that everything you do today is pain-free and that you are medically cleared to do exercises. So make sure that you feel comfortable with everything. If you don't, you just need to stop and just wait for the next exercise, or modify it if you feel comfortable with what you think you can do to help. I will give some suggestions for modifications for some of these as well as we go. So the first one, sit to stand. We're going to cross our hands over our chest, and we're just going to be sitting and we're going to stand up. When you're doing this, the reason we want our hands up here is so we don't push into our legs with our hands. You can put the hands out here if you prefer instead, and then come back down. If you're struggling with that though, you can have an armchair, and you can use the armrest to help push yourself up, and then lower yourself down as slowly as you want. You don't need to rush these reps. I'm going to count us to 10 now, but you just do as many as makes sense for you, and whatever feels like you're really working the legs nicely. The last thing I'll say as well is the more you lean forward, the less you're going to be getting a kind of nice reflexive action up through the legs. So we just want to make sure you're not leaning too far forward. So we want to get a little bit of the quads here, and as well as the backs of the legs, and not all the backs of the legs just by pushing the bum up in the air like that. That's all hips and no quads. Okay, off we go for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, the next exercise we're going to do is up against a wall. We're going to be leaning into it. So we want to, first of all, you can put your hands on the wall, but then walk your feet back so it feels like you're actually leaning into the wall. So if the wall vanished, you would fall on the floor. Don't worry, the wall won't vanish. So we're going to just hold ourselves up here, and we're going to lift one hand and tap the opposite shoulder. So both hands down, push the wall away as you lift up your hand and tap. So 1, we're going to go for 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure your heels are off the floor. So you shouldn't have your heels on the floor, and you should feel like a straight line from your head to your heels. 9 and 10. Okay, the next exercise, you can stay in this spot. We're going to get a lot of hip action now. So the sit to stand is a little bit more about trying to get the knees to work nicely, and this one is more about the hips. So we're going to place our hands back on the wall. Hands just slightly under your shoulder level, or just about the same height. And we're going to put our feet under our hips. So we don't want very wide, we'll just keep them under. We also don't want them touching though, so a little bit of a gap between. From there then, we're just going to push into the wall as we reach our hips back. So our bum will reach back to the other wall behind us. And then we're going to stand up by pushing through our legs. Push the legs, push the hips forward. And there should be a nice contact through the floor, through your feet as well. Your finish, your bottom position I should say, is going to be head between the arms as best you can, but a lot of people will probably stop sooner than that, and you'll feel like you'll get to about here. That is great, that's absolutely still working the hips. So as you do it more often though, you might find you're getting deeper, which is great because you're increasing your mobility then. We're going to go for 10 as usual. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. going to be either seated or standing, so it's totally up to you. I'm going to sit just to make sure I can be seen easily. We're going to do a curl and a press overhead. So for this, we're going to stay with weight free, but if you have weights and you're happy to use them, or you have small bottles of water or tins of beans, for example, you can pop those in your hands and that'll add weight. But you can wait until the second round to see if the first round felt easy, that you would like to do that. Or wait until the second or third day or next week or whenever, as you get stronger and you feel like adding more difficulty to it. So for this, all we do is have our hands facing forward, palms forward, elbows straight down by sides. Then you want to tap your shoulders by bending the elbows. Then reach up and try and have your arms by your ears without feeling like you're falling backwards or cramped up. So we still want to feel really long and tall. And then we'll tap our shoulders again and go back to the start position. So tap, reach, tap, reach to the floor. So we're going to go for 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Excellent. So the next one is coordination and a little bit of balance. It's very, very useful for the brain. It's going to be working both sides of the brain at the same time. So what we're doing is crossing our elbow and our knee across our body so that the opposites touch. But you can just use your hand instead of the elbow, depending on your range of motion and your comfort. So we're going to do 10. So tapping across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's as simple as that is, but I'm sure some people watching may be doing something like this. So this is the classic thing of where they think they're going across and using opposite limbs, but you're actually not, you're using the same one. So it's a nice challenge if that is your case. Just give it a go, slow things down, look down as much as you need to. Take your time between each one and you'll get it, and it will come back to you. The last one, I recommend if your balance isn't great, and even if it is good, I see people of all ages doing this and struggling with balance. So you can have the wall just to support you, behind you. So you'll lean into a little bit with your upper body, and then you're going to bring one leg up, both arms up, and you're going to reach up with one hand. So if my right leg is down, I reach up with my right hand. It looks like this. I reach up with my right hand. Now this is a little bit tricky. We're only going to do 5 on each arm. So I reach up from the shoulder up. That's 1 rep. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to swap legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, all the while, to make that a little bit more effective as well, think about having your whole foot pressing into the floor as you reach as well. So there's a downward force or a downward reach at the same time as that upward reach. So those are the 6 exercises. We're going to go through them again, and might have 1 or 2 extra notes to add, but otherwise hopefully you know at this stage now what kind of level you like to do. If you do want to add in weights, good time to run off and get some. And otherwise we're going to just carry on with the sit to stand to start with. Now the quick way to progress this is that rather than sitting all the way down, you will just tap your bum on it without actually putting your full weight into it. So we're going to go for 10. So I start at the bottom, so standing up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and back down. Excellent. So we're going to the wall now for our shoulder taps. So we reach out, then we walk back. We end up with our heels off the ground. Feel like we're in a straight line from head to toe. And then we tap the opposite shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can keep our hands on the wall. We're going to go into our good mornings, these are called. So we're going to bow down, say our good morning, and then push ourselves back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great, we're going into our curl and press. This way you can add the weights if you like. We're just going to straighten out the elbows and tap. Tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10. Excellent. So the next one we're going to do is our, what are we doing next? We're doing our march, sorry. So we're going for opposite knee and elbow for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you do feel like you're progressing really well here, you can turn it into a skip. So you're adding a base. So that could be weeks down the line. Don't worry about it if you're not there right now. Otherwise, we're doing our hip blocks. So up against the wall for support if needed. On one leg, reach up with one hand and squash down, reach through the floor with the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Swap sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that is your exercise session complete. If you didn't get all the exercises 100%, it's not the point of it really. This is something that you come back to time and time again and improve little by little, or whatever pace you can manage. If you enjoyed it, let me know. If you'd like to see more, I will be adding more, but you can let me know if there's anything specific that you want to see. If you found it too easy, too difficult, or you'd like to work on certain things more than others, just let me know.